What up, y'all? It's your boy Quest here, man, from the Greenhouse. I wanted to take a moment real quick, man, and share something with y'all, man, that my boy Dr. Quentin Cancel shared with me. He's a urologist, and he understands the challenges that we as men go through when you hit your upper 40s, some of us your early 50s and beyond. You know, your energy is not always there for your workouts. Your bedroom action's not what it used to be, right? Like, for real. Any of those things that you experience as a man, he wanted me to try this product. I tried the product. Not only did it taste great, I remember taking it before I went to gym. And man, let me tell you something. When I tell you I had enough energy to power through my entire workout and was still looking for more, I was immediately like, yeah, this is it right here. And not only that, he uses natural ingredients, right? Not the kind of natural ingredients where they tell you it's natural so that they can pass USDA, whatever. You know, my man uses all natural ingredients. Shouts out to my boy, Dr. Quentin Cancel. When I tell you that this thing is phenomenal, it's phenomenal. Do me a favor, click that link, click the link, and get that natural E-man. I'm telling you, it's the truth. It's your boy Quest. Peace. What up, y'all? What happens when you pastor, a marriage coach, an educator, and 3 clinicians all together on one platform with no script, no pre-planned questions, with just one goal?
To have real, raw, relevant conversations that bridge the gap between mental health and wellness, marriage and relationships, including those who are single, who are seriously pursuing love.
We dive deep into the struggles, the healing, the growth, and the wins that come from building healthy relationships, starting especially with the one you have with yourself. Like I always tell couples, you not the problem, your spouse is not the problem is the problem.
Every episode begins with an unscripted question, and where the conversation goes, nobody knows. I'm telling you right now, even we don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
I mean,
you can't get home, you can't get mad when they wrong. But one thing's for sure, you're about to get truth, transparency, and transformation.
Hey, listen, you know what I learned from a client? She and her husband used to create these characters, and they would like meet up at a hotel somewhere. They were married, but this is how they spiced up their marriage.
Talking about role playing?
I got a question for you. I want everybody to answer it. What would your role be? I see Terry in the Terry's in the green room. I'm not gonna let him off the hook. Hey Terry, how you doing? Question. Go ahead.
You know I heard that whole conversation, right?
I love that.
To another episode
of Unscripted Bridges.
Somebody said the video needs adjustment. All right, Armina. Everyone, hey, how y'all doing? This is the servant, Pastor Paul Graham, and wait, where is he? There we go. There's everybody. I just throw everybody on at one time.
No doubt.
It's a pleasure to see. Wait, is that red lipstick that Mina got on?
No, it's glossy.
It's glossy.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I'm not trying to be funny, but Quest, it looks like you got on red lipstick, unless you just had Kool-Aid.
It's
You
the
could have.
watermelon.
Pause.
It's the watermelon.
Pause. Pause. Big pause.
He eating the rind and everything of the watermelon.
I'm sorry. What did you say? What? Spell that again.
Pause. Pause.
P-A-U-S. Oh, you got me, bro. You just got me.
Big one. Pause.
Yeah. Okay. Got me. You know, my spelling is off. You know what I mean? My spelling is off.
My twin is coming on. Hey, twin.
Hey.
Oh,
How's everybody doing?
Yep.
Good. How are you?
there it goes.
You know what I'm saying? We in here.
What
We
part
in
of
here.
Texas were you in, Leah?
Yeah,
Huh?
we in here.
What part of Texas were you in?
Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it down here.
It was all right. The bats, like, what is that?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
So there is a certain like part of Austin where the bats come to and from Mexico, I guess, and they kind of like live up underneath the bridge. So where I was staying, the bridge was right there, and so everyone collects at about dusk. And the bats just all of a sudden just kind of like come out in this big old whoosh. And I'm like, Lord help me. Is this sinners like in real time? Like that?
Wow.
So yeah, it was crazy.
yeah.
But other than that, it was beautiful. Yeah.
She went there with sinners.
Okay, here we go.
Listen. You know, vampires, bats, just roll with me.
All the same thing. All the same thing.
So I got a question. I got a question. Anyone seen Sinners?
I have not.
I have not.
Not.
I just seen the trailer. It looked like it's gonna mess with my spirit. I don't want to. I can't. Have you seen it, P?
Look,
Look, the one with the big cast on his
What did you say? My cleavage is showing.
Talk about yanking up your skirt.
I saw it. I went to see it.
What was your thoughts?
What did you think?
Well, I would never mess it up for anybody, you know, by conversing fully about it. But I think every individual with this skin tone should see it.
I saw the trailers and I thought,
listen, I saw the trailers and I was never going to even look at it. I wouldn't even bet on
because
it.
I don't want it messing with my spirit. That's
Listen,
it.
man, I like sleeping at night. I like sleeping at night.
I'm just telling you.
Right. I like sleeping at night. And I'll say this to you. You know, sometimes your kids can get you to do certain things. And I'm gonna tell you, when my daughter said to me straight off, Dad, it's not what you think it is. My daughter knows me. And she know I'm not gonna, I don't want to stand for it, you know. I'm gonna use these words lightly, inviting anything into my brain, into my house, into my whatever. I think it's sad though that to get that kind of message across, that we needed to go in that direction. But the message, I'm just gonna say this, the message was awesome. That's all I can say. I don't want to mess it up for no one. It's still too new. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about The Color Purple. You know, I can talk about The Color Purple. I can talk about all these other shows or movies from way back, but this is so new that I don't want to mess it up for nobody. All I'm saying is that that it is quite uncomfortable. It may be quite uncomfortable for our cousins to be in there.
So Paul, what I'm hearing is that you trust your children.
I trust my daughter.
One of the two.
I'm gonna have to touch you on the back end. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to sit with you on the back end.
I mean, he's talking to Faith. He ain't talking to me. He's talking to Faith.
We're gonna have a conversation, you know what I'm saying, off the, you know what I'm saying, so you could tell me, because I ain't going to see that joint. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because you know, Pete, me and you come from the same place, so you know what I'm saying when I say it. I'm easily charged by, and not in a good way, you know what I'm saying, by stuff like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like it stirs up. It's stuff that I should be trying to lay this. Okay. My therapist said to me recently, she was like, I thought Detroit dudes was something else because she from the D. She's like, I thought Detroit dudes was something else. You Negroes from Brooklyn, whoo, sweet Jesus of Nazareth. She was like, y'all different. She's like, y'all different. And she said, you, whatever that is, like that thing that's here, you wear it like a badge, right? And I told her, like, it's hard to put down. You know what I'm saying? And I realized she's like, but I think y'all like it though. I said, I do like it sometimes, but in other instances, I don't like it because then my children start living life looking over their shoulder. And they didn't come from where I come from. So there's no reason for them to look over their shoulder. Right. And I always talked about like just being that thing, where you gotta, and I don't want to be that for Nico and Mason. And when I watch stuff like that, it charges that part of me. Like, nigga, what?
Let me say this. I just saw another pastor one. I want to be careful.
Yeah.
Pastor Roberts, when you said agreed, do you mean that it's something that you would not see, or is something that you saw and you feel it's not what you think it is? Natalie, if you're on right now, just text what your thought, not what your thoughts are. When you said agreed, what did you mean by agreed? Is something that you would not see, or something that you saw already and felt like it was not what you thought it was? Just share that with us.
I was looking at the cadence. I think she was, now this is based off of what I was saying. When you said you hated that it had to be done in that light for the message to get across, that's when I saw her say agreed. So that may be what she was to.
I am married to a man from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I do get that. I understand it.
Yep.
In this house, we all from Brooklyn.
So then y'all know,
Come on, Natalie. I'm see she's writing, and are you writing cryptically? I want to know.
No, she's saying what I said when you said that you hated that it had to be done. The message had to be done in that light. She's
okay. Gotcha.
That's how it. She hates that that's how it had to be done.
Gotcha. Let me share this with you. I would see it again. Okay. And I would see it again with different eyes. But you see, I internalize everything. I don't like vampires. I don't like I don't like vampires. I don't like none of them scary stuff. Red eyes. I ain't into none of that crap. But what I gotta share with you is that the creativity of it and the message behind it. I'm sorry to say. I mean, if you don't want to watch it because of that very reason, I understand. If you don't want to watch it because you don't want to invite anything, that's fine. But let me just share this with you, right? And I'm going to say this while my colleague is on. This person right here, Natalie Roberts. I want to share this with you. One of the problems we have, and I'm not making it a religious thing because I do have a question for y'all. See the question coming up? Y'all see the question coming up? All right, good. All right, good. I want to be clear that Adventism. Take your hand off your head. Take your hand off your head. Be nice already. And I'm gonna say this, Adventism, because that's what we understand that, right? And we recognize that it's not only Adventists that watch us or whatever, but I'm gonna share it this way. We have the truth. I'm gonna say it that way, right? Because if it's biblical truth, it's biblical truth. The way that we present it, it takes away the whole message sometimes. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna liken it to this. I'm gonna liken this movie to understanding Daniel Revelation, but in order for you to get it, I'm going to give you the beast, I'm going to give you the horns, I'm going to give you the teeth, I'm going to give you the 7 heads, and all that kind of stuff like that. Wow. Because I'm just saying it, right? Because a person coming into the church, Adventist church, can say, you didn't have to give me all of that to tell me what's happening in prophecy. Yeah. But they went back to the scary thing to show us the message. And
but
so
we get that in Revelations.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
Revelations is scary if you depending
sure,
on where you come from, it can
that's right.
Too.
Right. And as she's saying, the imagery that the Adventist church brings about, or any prophetic church brings about, they start with the imagery.
Right.
And then they end with the message, when really, right, we probably would not listen or watch the movie if it didn't have the imagery.
But I think that belittles how far we've come, right? I think we have advanced and we can conceptualize a lot of things because we have a deeper understanding. I think the imagery is great to get people in, but it's also something that if I have to scare you into believing something, then you don't believe it, you fear it.
Yeah, well, I tell you right. I tell you this: when you watch it, okay, I'm talking to you, Sade, because I can't speak for anybody else. When you watch it, when your man takes you there, or the guy that wants to be right takes you there,
Come on
right?
now.
That when you sit down, instead of holding you, instead of you holding him in the theater, right?
Glory!
When the man wants to take you there, I take you there.
Instead of doing like this at the theater, you're gonna be doing like this at the screen. Okay, and that's it. Another pastor is here. Another pastor saying this. I need to think a little more if to see it. I understand you, Pastor. Pastor,
and that's the thing with me, Pete, because like for real, I thought like based upon, and sometimes you just you hear people, you don't give it too much, you just hear enough to what's it big sis, confirmation bias, when you hear stuff that just supports what you already thinking, and that's kind of what I leaned into, right? I was like, okay, it's some spiritual stuff, it's some horror stuff, like I'm good on that. I don't do horror flicks because I like to sleep at night,
right?
But
I don't do horror flicks. I don't do horror flicks, right? I'm gonna tell you this, right? Let's talk a little bit, right? Let's talk a little bit. We don't do horror flicks. I'm just saying, but we'll do porn, right? Just stay with me, right? We don't do horror flicks, but we'll watch. I'm talking about sci-fi that definitely cuts out the fact that there is a God. All right. I think that we're so bombarded with stuff, right? And first of all, and everybody know, my church knows, my family knows, I'm not a moviegoer. But when your daughter says, that I know you. I know you. I know that you're not going to sit there and you're not going to be able to sleep at night or this, that, and the other. But you're not going to. When I walked out of there, I felt like I finished watching The Roots and I was angry.
So at any point were you uncomfortable? Was your spirit uncomfortable by what was on the scene?
I love what you just said there, right? I will always be uncomfortable.
Question, Leah.
Right? I will always be uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable at certain spaces of it, right? Because of my theological background, not because of the imagery.
Gotcha.
Okay. And I can't say what it is, but what I'm saying to you is that
you can't say what is the discomfort, like what the.
I won't say what the scene was that was that was uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
Right?
So do you feel that you pushed past your discomfort just to remain?
I think that I pushed past the comfort just in going because the previews would not tell you what this movie is about. The preview at all.
But once you were there were moments that you were uncomfortable. Did you push past your discomfort just to remain in the film?
Yes, I did. Again,
I think we do that in relationships as well, but I was just wondering.
That's why I can't talk to y'all. We need to have some other people on here instead of therapists, man. Because
I'm glad, because those are the questions really that you asking, Leah, that causes me to properly draw a conclusion as to whether I'm going to see it or not.
Sure.
I told you, I don't do it. There's certain movies I do not do. I'm careful about, in this older stage of my life, I'm careful about what I let through my five senses.
Let me say this. I'm sorry. Before we go around the clock with some,
I got enough issues as it is already.
Listen, I'm going to say it again. My wife was probably surprised that I went.
Wow.
She is a horror flick. See, I can deal with Jason coming to kill you because he's a psychopath. No, I'm just telling you, I can deal with that because that's all right. What I can't deal with is the bed moving. Okay,
I can do the Omen, the Exorcist, anything with spiritual.
Did anybody watch Lovecraft Country? Did anybody watch Lovecraft?
I don't even know what that is.
There's,
look. You saw what you were like.
there's this one movie that Vin Diesel did, and I forgot what it's called. But he plays like a witch hunter, if you will, and I'm intrigued by the movie. But I know, like, I can't watch it because, especially when the symbols start coming up and all of this, I'll be like, no, you know what? I'm gone. I can't watch it. You know what I'm saying? It's action packed, and I'm an action movie. I'm an action flick junkie. Like anything Jason Statham, I'm in there. Like anything. What's your boy who did Taken?
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah, I'm in there. Any action flicks, I'm in there. But this one movie that he does, and I'm just like, yeah, nah, I can't do it. I can't do it.
For me, though, I could do horror, right? But when there's this mockery of Christianity, you know, when there's like this colonialism, and I know where I am right now. I don't have the bandwidth to take that in. And if I am there, do I subscribe to that?
Okay. Let me say this again, right? I don't feel that I as a pastor, I'm going to put it this plain and simple. As a pastor, the way that we perpetuate messages is an either or. Right there, it's up or down, left or right. You know, sun and moon, light and darkness. I mean, there's no middle ground. So I don't want to push anyone to a place, right, where you're saying, as a man of God, you're telling me to do certain things. First of all, if I was in the 90s or even 15 years ago or maybe 10 years ago, I wouldn't even tell you to be going to the movies. I'd be telling you wait till it comes out. What I recognize is there are some horror flicks or that has demonic things in there, and this one may also have it that I don't know about. Or you understand where I'm coming from? Yes. So I would never say to people, you need to go and watch it. What I'm saying is, when I saw it, I recognized that I wish that the message could have gone across in a different manner. Because when it was finished, I realized, and I'm going to say this to y'all, and this is the best way that I can say it, that without messing it up for anybody, when I, by God's grace, came here and built RPC from the Bowie Project, when it became a $1.2 million church for 11 years straight, I want y'all to hear me now. That's when everybody wanted me to work for them. So that's all that I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's all that I'm going to say. And so when I saw it, I recognized it.
Was there something on your? Were you should get some lotion for that.
Right. I should. So
what color lotion? No.
Let's hear what Laverne has to say. Let's go. I wouldn't go. Let's go. We met Laverne. Leah, is that your friend Laverne?
Yes. That's Mina's friend.
Laverne said she was scared watching Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Laverne! And wait. She writes that first and then says, "Good evening, everyone." I wish my girl Natalie could come on tonight, man. I wish my girl Natalie would come on tonight. Natalie, can you come on with us tonight? I'm just asking. You know, she's a pastor in our area. In fact, she's over children and young adult ministries.
Love it.
But she's life in itself. This young lady is life in itself. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna share this. Can y'all hear me?
But in case we didn't do it yet, welcome to another edition of Unscripted Conversations. You know, we have a tendency, we just jumping into stuff. We welcome it, you know what I'm saying? The people who rock it with us every week, you know what I'm saying? We just jumping right.
If you from the D, what up, though?
You know what I'm saying?
See that? Howdy,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Say the
saying?
real D. Don't be
The
disrespectful.
real
to
D.
this.
The real D. The big
Brooklyn,
D.
stand up.
Oh,
The
my
howdy.
goodness.
No.
Howdy.
So I gotta share this with y'all. I love
Come on.
y'all to death, and
Come on.
I wanna talk about something, right? I want to talk about something. I'm gonna ask everyone to, for those who are watching right now, to take some time out, really take some time out, and share this with one or two people, if you will. I don't think that we need to be shy about this. I just want to get into it and love what we're talking about, and hopefully everyone's growing from it.
So what we talking about? Sin tonight?
I'm gonna get. No.
Sin.
I thought the movie was excellent.
And how it's good to your mouth, but sour to your belly.
I thought it was an excellent film. It's not a movie about vampires. It's a movie that has vampires in it.
Wait,
Oh, that's what
is
we're talking
Sin?
about?
No.
Well, we're switching the subject, sinner. I mean, about sinners. I'm sorry. Right. We're switching the subject. I want everybody to take a good
That's
look.
where we started, Tito. That's where we started.
That's right. That's where we started, boss. That's where we started. I want everybody to take an opportunity to look at this Victoria's Secret, but I'm really not really talking about Victoria's Secrets because I can't really put up. Well, anyway,
Okay.
I think many of our marriages today, many of our dating life today, I think we have this issue where I'm going to say this: spice, lingerie,
Talk about it.
toys. I need to see everybody's
Why
face.
do I hear
I'm
the
sorry.
truth
No.
about
I need to see everybody's face. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I need to see everybody's face.
I need to get tea for this one.
Right, I'm like, I'm hearing all the juvenile giggling.
You might need to splash. You might need to splash a little something in your teeth for this one.
the pastor said vampires and Victoria's Secret, 2 V's. What's going on?
Yep.
All right.
Look, maybe
That
you're
sound
drawing
like a
up
good
the blood
movie.
to
That
get
sound
your
like a
woman
good
to wear it.
No, listen.
Yep.
I'm going to say this right. I think for a fact.
We need to wear nothing. Remember the real nothing. Let the
Mhm.
spirit move.
Come on. Yeah, Victoria's Secret. You're gonna get some tea, Teresa's tea too.
Get some watermelon.
Oh, come on. Hey. Ooh.
So, how important is it, right? That and how are we able? And I want you to also, and I love this for singles also, because a lot of times singles feel like there's also no creativity. The creativity seems to happen beforehand, and then when we get in, it dies out. I'm just telling you that right now. I mean, we're not here, we're not here to sugarcoat things. It almost seems like before marriage, it's fun, it's exciting, it's trying new things, so and so, what have you. Then when you get married, other than Leah, then you're able to have this, we're able to have this, this mindset where you don't have to do this anymore. We don't have to spice it up. And I love the last conversation we had 2 weeks ago, dealing with the role play and what have you. So I'd really like to just ask the panel, okay, what do you think stops married people from continuing an active connection sex life? What do you think?
What stops them?
Yeah, what stops them?
Life. I think what happens is we wear so many different hats that we forget to wear the hats that are most important. You play, especially if you have children, you have the mommy hat, you have the daddy hat, and then problems come around. You wear your problem solving hat. You wear I don't know. Just think of all the different hats and all the different things that you do as a husband and wife. And life is happening, and somehow we get pulled away from all the things of life that we forget to wear the hats that are most important. The husband and wife hat, you know what I'm saying? The sexual hat, the conversational hat, the emotional hat. We forget to wear those hats.
I think at times. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
No. Go, sis.
Come on.
I think at times there's this emotional disconnect that happens because it's not all what it was cracked up to be, right? Like there's this high expectation of it. And then when we get in it, it's like we're waiting for the bells and whistles and we never arrive at the bells and whistles. So resentment builds and all these things start to happen that causes that emotional disconnect. But we blame it on life happening, right? So like, if you really want to talk about it, we don't really have the real conversation, the for real conversation as to why that's not happening. We blame it on being tired. We blame it on working, chasing the kids around, blah, blah, blah. Not that that's not happening, right? So please don't misunderstand. But oftentimes it's what we anticipated. Like, it's like chasing that first high. You never high.
If I can say for me, I think, well, I'm not married, but I think at this point in my life, sex, the reason for sex is changing, right? In the past, it's been a tool to get what I want, or it's been a control mechanism, right? So now that I'm in active healing again, I'm realizing that in marriage, it's the intimacy and all these other things that are important, that will be important to me, that make it to where if you weaponize something and then it's no longer serves its purpose as a weapon, there's no point of it, right? So a lot of times I think, because I've been in a dating situation where sex was, part of the process, and I always thought, like, when we get married, what's the point? Like, I got what I wanted. So the weapon has lost its power. So now there's no point of me pulling the trigger. So I think a lot of times how we are introduced to sex or how we learn about sex, that mind shift happens to where some people, when they get married, if I've gotten what I wanted, what's the point now? Or if I feel like I had to do it to get what I wanted, what's the point now?
So what's the change for it now? In if you say that that's before, what is the now that you're looking for?
Yeah.
You just talking about in general?
No, hold on. I'm talking.
Oh, you talking to me?
Yes, I am. I'm talking to you.
Oh.
So before, ask your question again.
Well, before you said it was a place of weaponizing. It was a place of control. But and that was, you said before, dealing with your healing or whatever, with your healing. What was the word you used? Your healing?
I'm actively healing now.
Actively healing. In actively healing and being with that individual in marriage, what are you looking for then in marriage?
It's the desire, right? So when it's a weapon, there's not a desire, there's a need, right? Like, I need to do this to get something, or if I want something, this is what I have to give up to get what I want. Now I want the desire. Like, I want to have sex with somebody, not feel like I need to. Like, in order for you to like me, I have to lay down with you. In order for us to be in a relationship, I have to lay down. It's, you know what? I truly care for this person. I want to give my body to this person. I have a desire to give my body to this person, not a transactional exchange.
Oh my gracious!
I do that. You do this.
But I've heard so many couples say that it still feels transactional.
That's what I don't want to do.
Okay, pause. Leah, what's your thoughts on that? Oh, I'm sorry. No. Go ahead. And Leah,
T was ready to go. Go ahead.
Go ahead, T. Go ahead, T.
I was just going to say that, and I think you just, we're heading that way. When you put up that sex can be a controlling factor, it doesn't have to be when you're single. It can still be that way in marriage. You see what I'm saying? I finished a therapy session today where I've been seeing this couple, and she wrote me this whole litany about how she felt to talk about in therapy today. And, when it came down to it, she got upset. She said, it's not about sex. She said, you're not getting it. And she got pissed off today in the session. And what she couldn't realize was it was about that for her husband. And she could not see past what was going on. it was tit for tat. They were both digging in their heels. She had gotten sick, and so while she was sick, his desire for pornography grew.
His desire
grew. So she can't deal with all of the lying, the deceit, the hiding, the secrecy. And if you know anything about addiction, that's what addiction is about. That's what addiction is about. And so she kept saying, it's not about, it is for him. How do you feel? Tell me how you feel, guys. Paul and Quest. If your wife says to you, now you want to get some, you ain't had none in a while, and it's like, all right, well, come on, because I got to get up and go to work in the morning.
Yeah, no, we're not doing
I don't want it.
Do you see what I'm saying? And so he's saying, I don't feel safe having this I don't feel safe in approaching you. He sleeps downstairs, she sleeps upstairs.
Unless I'm a savage.
I didn't invite you to, to come upstairs in the bed for intimacy. I just invited you upstairs. And she cannot get past her own. And I'm like, it's not about, it's like this. Well, you blocked me here, so I'm gonna block you here. Well, you doing this, so I'm gonna do this. You do that, I'm gonna do this. It's kind of like, I call it playing, is it blackjack? No, it's poker. It's poker. I call it going to Vegas. It's like, all right, well, I'm already upset. And I'm at 80. So you come in and you be like, I'm gonna see your 80 and I'm gonna raise you 20.
Oh my God! Come on!
Now I'm gonna see that. Now you at 100. I'm gonna see 100 and I'm gonna raise you 25. And so you keep going, and it's like they both can't. And she got very upset and walked off. And when she left, we continued. And he said, "That's exactly what it's about." I said, "So you don't see that this is a problem in your relationship? I don't feel safe. I don't feel. They both are not feeling that way, but using." You see what I'm saying? Sex as a weapon, as a tool. And a lot of people do it. I'm not going to just say women. I think if you did a survey, by and large, women do it more than men. Okay. Well, you didn't do this, so I ain't going to do this. Well, you didn't do this, so I ain't going to give you none of this. You ain't going to do this. That's that whole, oh, you bought me some, you bought me some shoes. Let me give you some. Well, I can get that anyway. Is there something else you can do? Well, oh, you did this. So I'm gonna give you this. Are you gonna do this? I'm gonna give you this. It's a transaction.
Like a
in some relationship.
Bargaining chip. Leah, go ahead and then go.
What did that comedian call it one time? Oh, you moved that sofa? You go coochie coupon. You know what I'm saying?
Not the coochie coupon. Somebody put it in the chat. Coochie coupon.
And then when you get mad, you shut it off. Again, if you're gonna send me out here hungry, I'm going to eat.
Yeah, but I was just about to say, just a few weeks ago, you said, well, if you don't give him none, he gets to roam. Like that.
No, I didn't. That's not what I said. I said, if you don't take care of home, don't get mad when they roam. That's what I said.
Same thing.
Here's the thing, though.
That's what I said.
But here's the thing with what I was hearing T say, and I get it, right? So that I see happen in the marital scenario, right? Where you're utilizing this bargaining tool, right? But here's the flip of that. The flip of that is in the dating scene, the man uses that as the bargaining tool.
Yes.
So if you don't give me none, then, right, I'm going to go and find who is going to actually do this thing, right?
You see that as a bargaining chip? You see that as a bargaining chip, Leah, or you see that as a response?
No. I see that as a bargaining chip, which adds pressure to the woman who may have wanted to preserve herself for marriage, but because she sees herself in a position of, dang, I ain't never gonna get nobody. Do you know how many young women out here having sex and don't necessarily want to just out of fear that she cannot retain a man in her life?
So let's say she gets married to him. Right. But Leah, let's say they get married. Let's say they get married.
Yeah.
So now what we doing? Payback? Because
it's not that it's payback. I'm saying we got to look at the genesis of this thing.
I know what you said.
You know what I'm saying? You're talking about what's happening in the marriage. The reality is from inception, that woman did not want to like present herself in that capacity, but to retain a man. You got all of these other women out here that's throwing it. Let's just be real. They putting it in. So us nice little wholesome little Christian young girls who wants to be chaste until marriage, we ain't gonna get nobody, because by the time y'all are, and I'm gonna tell you this, my daughter gonna hate me, so I'm gonna whisper. Okay. She was like, I don't want nobody after they all used up, because he out here sleeping with everybody. Now I gotta sit here and wait and hope that he changes. He was like, she said I don't want it, and I can't blame her.
But Leah, hold on.
Yeah.
Because what Paul did say was,
he said wholesome or wholesome.
In marriage, marriage is what we're talking about. In marriage. I understand where you're coming from. But okay, so you're looking at the inception. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, you got to start there, because once it transfers into marriage, you get the real individual. And that woman was not gung-ho on having sex all the time. She was doing it because she was hoping to retain something that she thought she would probably lose.
So it's like sex for expectation.
But as I said from the beginning, if I get what I want, now what's the purpose of me having sex? If I was giving myself to you out of that pressure, out of that, if I'm not doing it, then somebody else is going to do it. Now that we're married, now I can say, you know what? I got what I wanted. I didn't want to do it.
It's for procreation and you using it for recreation.
Stop it. Please stop it. Stop it. Please.
I love that, Terry, because you're totally right? Like, but I believe that recreation was in there because the enjoyment factor.
Yeah.
The neurological responses and reactions that the body gives, right? Yeah,
I think what it is at the end of the day, if we're talking within the believer mindset, it's just when it comes to relationship, you really don't trust God for that one thing. You may trust him for a number of things, because here's the thing, both of you are right. It happens at an inception, and then it happens again when you're in marriage. I can't tell you how many times couples have come to me. What do I need? Husbands be like, what do I need? What do I got to do? Like this once every 2-3 weeks is not working. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you go back to the beginning, and you was probably using it as a bargaining chip. Well, hey, it's a bunch of chicks out here. And then at the end of the day, it comes down to, okay, do we really understand how relationship is supposed to work? How sex is supposed to work, right? Because you fooled yourself in the beginning to thinking this person was a friend we develop in relationship. And what I've come to realize is that first of all, we throw the word friend around too loosely. That's number one. If we dealing with inception. And I know that to be true, because when I watched Jesus operate, he loved all the disciples, did ministry with all of them jokers, but he only did life with James, John, and Peter. I'm sorry. Peter, James, and John. Them the only three that he did life with. And so sometimes we doing relationship with somebody that you're not even a friend with, because a friend is concerned whether you want them to or not, about your future, about your purpose, about, like, for real, if I do this with you now, it's going to ruin this thing that we got called friendship. So if we want to build this and go to the next level, let's do this thing properly, right?
Okay, let's pause there for a second, Mina, and then I'm going to come down to friends with benefits. Go ahead.
I mean, I think Quest is hitting it, right? The other piece of it too.
No pun intended, but go ahead.
P. God, yo.
Mina, you set yourself up for that.
all the buttons tonight.
You walked into that with Mina.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm done.
No, Mina, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, you know this is double Dutch. This is unscripted double Dutch.
Yo, hey, have you ever
get in where you fit in?
Armina, I'm so sorry, girl.
I think what oftentimes happens is that we women, some of us, do enjoy it. We do, right? And so down the line, things change. You know, I mean, there's research out there that is talking so much about perimenopause and how early it's starting. And there are some health factors that play a role in it. The other thing too is that women tend to want the whole, not just the sum, right? And so the whole is, I need that intimacy build up for later. So whether if it's text messages, whether if it's, you know, sliding in my DM, whatever you're going to do to help me get to where you are, so that when we come together, we don't have to waste time getting me to where you are, if that makes a lot of sense, right? And so I think that
perfect sense.
in marriage, we are walking this thing together. And if you leave me behind, then I have to catch up to where you are. And sometimes I can never catch up because you were just, everything is in your mind. The porn is in your mind. Other women is in your mind. Like everything is in your mind, because in order for you to probably stay where you are, there's other factors that come into play.
Okay.
So when we talk about guarding the edges of the marriage, yeah, this is part of that, right? Because something that seems innocent today, if we keep doing it repetitiously, it is no longer innocent. And then I'm not even in the equation, but you want me to be in the equation because you need a nut off. So
let me ask you this.
Oh, disclaimer, this is not my life. I'm just giving
No, hold on. Don't say that. This is anytime we talk like this and it gets crazy, it's Terry's life, not all of us. All right, here we go.
You're absolutely right. Believe everything that you hear about me.
See, here we go.
So here we are.
Everything you hear, believe it.
Women, and I love what Laverne said earlier, and just piggybacking off what you're saying, women do love sex. They love not just connecting. Okay, I believe that connecting is also spiritual. I believe that connecting is what God wants us to do as married folks. I'm just saying, as married folks, right? I gotta say this though, that there's a comfort level of having sex with your friend. There's a
hold on. Slow down.
I'm just
when you
back
say
to
your friend, are we talking within the context of marriage, or are we talking just across the board?
In general, the fact that you have a friend that it
okay, cool,
more simple. Right?
I want to, because like for real, this can get easily misconstrued. So you're talking about across the board when you're having sex with your friend.
Well, see, the mindset is I'm now piggybacking off what you have said earlier, right?
Yeah, because I want to start going to define what friend means.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So what I'm saying to you, I'm just jogging the mindset, right? That there are individuals I have been before marriage. I'm just telling you, before marriage, or even in marriage, wondering. I'm just telling you, wondering, because when you have a friend, you trust certain things. You trust that certain things are not going to happen. I'm not talking about going out there and having an affair or so and so, whatever. But I feel that it may be easier, let's say before marriage. I'm talking, even if I'm talking to Sade or anyone else, that it's easier to lay down with someone who's your friend than to lay down with someone you're working something out with.
So let me say this. It's easier, but the consequences are worse.
Got it. I'm with you.
Because
I'm with you.
And I've said this multiple times since the ending of my relationship. I have had the opportunity, right, to be with a friend who is a genuine friend. But what I can't wrap my mind around is giving my body to somebody who I can't call if I have a flat tire. Because the responsibility of my body, if I'm giving you my body, there's a responsibility in my mind now that goes with that, right? Like, you should be somebody I can call if I have a flat tire. You should be somebody I call when I have a bad day. But if we're just friends, for me to put that expectation on you now just because we had sex is unfair.
Well, that's what Nikolai is saying. Pastor Greaves is saying right now, that someone's going to catch feelings. And this is why the spiritual aspect of it, I'm talking about the spiritual act, the biblical spiritual aspect of it, is that that you will indeed, something is going to happen after that.
Yeah.
Something is going, there is not, we're not even talking about the reaction. The reaction is sexual, the response is spiritual. And this is where I feel that we get into not really understanding certain things, because again, as I'm just saying this, right? As Carol said in here just now, she put it in here just now. We don't talk about it in church. We don't talk about it concerning families. We don't talk about certain, we don't talk about any of these things. And so when I trust someone, this is Paul Graham talking, right? Being very vulnerable. When I trust someone, you can take me anywhere.
Right. But, well, I guess if we keep it in the context of a friend, if you go outside of the context of a friend and we only look at a sexual interaction, it is very much possible that feelings are not caught on either end.
Okay.
Can we just really make this point very clear? Folks, please don't call your friends and talk about, you know what, let's try this thing out. Like, that's not what we're talking about.
No.
I just want to be clear that we because, you know, we have people who really listen to what we say and they take it and they apply some of what we're saying. I'm not subscribing to the concept of calling your friend and be like, yo, what's up, man? I know we've been feeling each other for a while. So we're talking about when you're dating, that person you're dating should become your friend that you marry.
Facts.
Because one of the things I will truly say is I was happy to have legal sex.
You ain't never lied.
But here's what we talk. Here's what Terry is talking about. Here is what Leo was talking about. And I'll go as far as to say question from before. To have legal sex, right? And then it taking away from you in the legal context. What happens? That's why I put it. What happens when in the relationship of marriage, in the context of not even church, of spirituality and the whole nine, there's a withholding issue that's happening. In this withholding issue, what do you do next?
Is taxing, withholding.
If we know, right? But the utilization of the word withholding says that it is an intentional act.
That's what I'm trying to get at right there.
Always that.
But hold on, before you go there, explain what legal sex is.
Sex in marriage. Sex in marriage.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing: if
outside of marriage is illegal, who going to jail for that?
No.
Come on, man.
Since I made the comment, let me clear it up.
No, there's a reason I'm saying this, but go ahead.
It had to be.
That statement is a statement that many of us, and I'm just going to say Adventists, would say after we were married, because we had been having sex behind the closed doors. Like no one knew people knew we were dating, people knew we were engaged, but no one knew we were having sex.
Yeah, so but that's slow though, me to think that people ain't having sex. Honestly, when you get to the point of even the engagement, most people are getting it in.
That's why.
Let's just be honest.
So let me say this, right? So I'm in a place where I have chosen, like, okay,
stop stuttering and talk regular.
I said I don't want to have sex again until I'm married. So I make that very well known. But I also tell gentlemen, hey, if you propose to me on Tuesday, Thursday morning, we need to be at the courthouse. There's because that's something that's important to me, right? And I think even to Mina's point, if you look at anything that has been illegal in any system, once it becomes legal, it loses its fun.
Come on.
What happens is when we have sex outside of marriage, it's fun. It's the excitement. It's something that I can do. Like,
right.
The trumpets can sound, sir. I'm okay.
Hey, sis, let me say this to you all right now. Love you all to death, and I'm gonna say it this way. Thanks, JoJo, for that. Man,
so why you thinking, Paul? I don't want people to think that because you get married, you don't have fun with your sex life neither.
But Leah, here's the thing too. I don't want us to be thinking, especially like men is just straight up savages. Well, we can be. Let me not lie. We can be savages. But here's the thing too. I've learned over the years that my wife is probably more likely to when I connect with her emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm having conversations with her, when I'm thinking about how it's much easier when I arouse her intellect just as much as I want to, like it's almost like the difference between the two of us is like women. If I want it on Thursday, I got to start from Sunday, like walking around the house like,
I got it. It came back. From what you just said, it just came back.
You know what I'm saying? And then we just like gloop, and then we gloop.
Sure. Here it is. Most people, one of the reasons why I honestly got into premarital counseling or coaching and not marital coaching or what have you, I find that more people, when on their what do you call it again? On their invitations, they say, "Today I married my best friend." No, you didn't. You married somebody that you're compatible with. And I think that many people marry individuals that they're compatible with. I don't believe that they marry their best friend. Now, I'm going to say this, and
compatibility changes.
I just want to pause. Can we get a
you doing a remix or what?
And did she just say that the Knicks won in overtime?
In overtime. Okay. Okay.
Go ahead. Continue.
A win is a win.
A win is a win. A win is a win, New York.
Okay.
But compatibility changes, though. And I think
it has to. But see, that's my issue. The issue is that if you marry your best friend, like I have felt, and I don't think I'm gonna get in trouble for this, I married my best friend. I have to say this, that when my brothers, if I was not gonna marry Wendy, stay with me, y'all. If I was not gonna marry Wendy and I married somebody else, she probably would have been in a suit next to me. I want to. That's how close friends I'm gonna say we were, not that we are. Do you hear what I said? I'm telling you that right now.
I didn't marry my best friend, but my husband has become my best friend.
Okay. And that's why when people say today I've married my best friend, it's kind of tough to say today you marry your best friend. When I say I marry somebody who I'm compatible with and we are moving towards that. You understand where I'm coming from?
You do know that everyone has a different version or definition of a best friend, right? So maybe to that person, they did marry their best friend.
Okay, I believe that. Oh, because I know Denise and Ali, I believe that Denise married her best friend. Okay. Here's
my question to you before you go on. I need you to tell me what makes the person your best friend.
I think total vulnerability.
You don't think in the dating into engagement that total vulnerability has happened?
No.
Okay.
No.
And
I don't.
I will say in the past, like literally, thanks to Armina, I'm going to plug her counseling services. I had a great session today. But one thing I will say is I literally had to tell her, I said, I'm so used to things moving quick, right? Like if I meet a guy on Tuesday, the next Tuesday, we're dating, we're locked in, we're in a relationship. And now I'm in a process where I meet somebody and we're literally taking things slowly. And I can tell the difference, right? Because this gentleman would be my friend, even if we said, you know what, the relationship would never work out. Because I'm forced to be patient. I'm forced to develop like real conversations. There's a slowness to it. There's a crock pot mentality versus a microwave mentality. I could not say that my last ex was my friend. He was not. And so because of that, I do believe a lot of people that you go through the motions and you check the boxes, but you're not being intentional with making sure that the boxes actually, the check is actually being met. So I do believe there are some people who maybe they do, but I'm not going to say everybody does because I definitely would not have.
So this is so TMI, but when you could have that dump, that to me says you know, like if you are comfortable enough to do that, yo, we're gonna ride or die this thing through.
You talking about crapping in the same place.
Okay.
Go ahead.
There's gonna be a fight upstairs. There's gonna be a fight upstairs.
No, I'm just kind of looking at this about people's level of comfortability of themselves, not so much of the other individual, right? So a lot of times, right, our identity is coming into the relationship and how we actually see ourselves, whether or not we're confident, right? And showing up in space with another individual. There are some overconfident people that don't love you, but they'll be in a relationship with you. They'll sit down, they'll pass gas, they'll, burp, belch, the whole nine, and they don't think absolutely nothing about you. And a lot of times it might simply be the fact that they don't, that they have no problem, right, sharing themselves in that manner. It's because they don't care. So I think that, there's a range of how individuals show up, which makes it so beautiful in relationships, right? I'm a very introverted individual. I love my husband dearly. He's more, for certain things than what I am. I look at him and be like, ugh. Right. And then we might crack up laughing after that because I'm like, you just nasty. Like, what? Never, right? Engage in such behavior in front of him. But that's just me. Doesn't mean that there's a loss of love, friendship, or anything else. So I just don't want us to be as rigid,
Yeah, but that's what I was saying too, that for everyone, when I said that word friends has a different meaning.
Yeah.
So does what we want in relationships, right? Yep. I think when we're in that dating phase, there's this the idea of what we're talking about. There's this level of I want my best self to show up in hopes that you will approve of me, take me. And then at some point, it's like that bra at the end of the day that just comes off, and then things are just everywhere, And I think so people then get surprised at who they're now seeing and say, I never knew this person was like this.
The thing I would say is what's been the most uncomfortable for me, right? I've always been able to tell my story and be vulnerable and transparent, but being able to sit with someone else, right? And I said this today, for the first time in my life, somebody can tell me their story and I don't in return tell them mine. I sit with them in that, right? I sit with them and say, so what does this look like for you? Like how, and it's not me saying, okay, well, I heard yours, so now let me let me match, because it's about actually getting to know the person and not getting to there's no goal.
And here's the thing too, Sade, on the flip side of that, that's when I communicate and fill in the gaps. I want to tell you my story too, but not today. I'm interested in hearing so that you don't think from your end that you just that I just want you to divulge all the information about you, but I ain't going to tell you nothing about me. No, I will. But I just think we can do that another day. For today, I want to understand where you coming from.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so the same way that we use, or may use, right, sex as a bargaining tool. So the same way showing up in conversation, because I show up and I speak to you should, right? And so a lot of it is that we are trying to have power and control within the relationship so that it looks the way we desire for it to look instead of allowing it to organically formulate, right? And so that's great.
Let me tell you why the friendship piece is so important.
Sorry, Leah, nasty Leah.
I'm just saying, I'm knee deep in this book by Darius, what's his last name? Darius Daniels, the preacher dude, right? And he was saying that there are 5 things that should be present in friendship, right? It should be unshakable character. It should be unconditional love. What else did he say it was? It should be unbridled honesty, unremovable reliability, and unceasing encouragement. Like those 5 things need to be present in a friendship. if that needs to be present in a friendship, what you think needs to be present in a doggone marriage, right? Because there's some people who are loyal to you because you got years, but then they don't have the unshakable character necessary to check you on some stuff when you need to be checked. Immediately my mind goes to Joab and David when he wanted Bathsheba, right? Joab almost made David ruin his entire stuff because we close, but I didn't check you. You sent Joab to go tell them to put my man on the front lines, and you didn't check David like, yo, that's my man's, like, that's homegirl's husband. Why are you putting him on the front line and make sure that he gets hit? So I'm saying that if we're going to do the relationship, all this stuff about control and we doing this so that I can make it look this way, or like if it's not what we both want, if it's not what we both trying to build, then what are we doing here? More importantly, do you really?
Why don't you just have an agreement, Quest, that you can do what you want to do on your end, and I can do what I want to do on your end.
But I think
my question is at that point.
Don't change my question.
No. My question at that point is it relationship that God would want us to have? Because if it ain't that,
okay, fine. Yeah. Were you going that way, Sade?
So what I was going to say is, I think when the basis of any relationship is friendship, right? You can offend me as my husband, but I still care for you as my friend, right? I think that there has to be, in some instances, I have to be able to look at a situation outside of the role that you have in my life and still consider you as my friend. And that offense doesn't have to be anything major, like you didn't take out the trash. As your friend, I may say, is he having a rough day? It forces me to consider other things outside of this is just this one role, and that's the only role I'm going to hold you to. So I think a lot of times, we have to be mindful. Like Mina said, everybody has a different definition of a friend. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a different definition of a friend. But like in my dating situation, I have to be vocal in saying, as a friend, this is what I need. As a friend, this is what I desire. As we move forward in life, as a boyfriend, as a husband, there may be different expectations, but the foundation, and I think that's what a lot of people are missing, is those foundational pieces.
Right.
Because we hop from hey to boyfriend or hey to girlfriend, and we do not get the friend part right.
Can we address and that's it? Can we address then? Because many people have different definitions of what a friend is. And some people think that a friend is one thing and you let this person into your life. And I'm a firm believer in the fact that people come into your life for a reason, season, or a lifetime. If you're here for a reason or a season, are you really my friend then?
Okay.
Because friends are supposed to push you towards purpose. That's what friends are supposed to do. If God gave Jonathan to David, right? There's a number of different. He gave Ruth to Naomi. Like for real, you see in those particular friendships that people were pushed towards a particular purpose. And I think sometimes we just once again, we throw the word around too loosely. Have you ever been in a position where you let somebody into your life and they were only supposed to be there for a limited amount of time? They stayed a little bit longer and made you completely miserable?
Yeah, my ex.
Come on.
And I was just going to go Terry's way. I was going to go Terry's way.
Everybody don't get access to your life.
Right.
So Terry, in your next, I'm just going to say this, right? Because I don't believe you have the gift of singleness.
You don't even have the gift of what?
Singleness.
No, I have the gift of prophecy. But
I
have seen the future, and it is singleness.
Jerry.
If you did it again, what would your process be, Terry? What would your process be? If you're going to get married,
Come back.
I want to sit with Terry in church.
What? That's
No, you don't.
That's no, you don't. No, you don't. I'll be honest with you. Before you answer that, Terry, I don't think I can sit with.
You should not surely die.
You said you don't think you can sit with me in church?
No.
I just want to sit with him because it's going to be me and you shot it. We ain't sitting in church together.
Sade? Oh, no, you know what?
For
No.
sure.
I'm gonna change that. That's your partner. Leah, I can't sit with in church.
Why?
Mina will hold it together. I believe Mina will hold it together.
I still don't see how we made it through when we were in Baltimore together.
So, Paul, what's your
And
question?
I sat next to Terry, and I sat next to Leah, to Sade.
Yes.
I still don't think.
See, but you stay calm. Right.
You sat next to me too, Mina.
You structured, Mina. I'll be looking for the foolishness.
Because me and Plus was up there rolling.
Acting up. I'm like, ooh, they gonna escort us off this stage in 2 seconds.
It was fun.
Well,
So
listen,
when Leah came off the stage, I said, "Oh, we in praise team now."
When I
So,
walked
yes.
in, I said, "Oh, praise team. Okay, how did this happen?"
Look, I got thrown up there.
And I was just sitting there like, "Sing for the Lord."
Paul, what was your question?
Ooh,
Terry,
Cams.
if you did this again, if you got married again, what would your process be? Friendship, compatibility?
Put it up,
would you be
Wes.
looking
I
for?
want to see what Cam said.
What would you be looking for? I got it. Go ahead.
Yep.
He asked you a question, Terry.
He's reading. Let him read.
Sorry,
Let him
I was
read.
reading that.
Let him read. Let him read. Let him read, Red Lips. Go ahead. And wait, hold on. Let me just see something here.
For a minute, I thought my mom had got on here. I'm like,
What are you doing?
Your lips are not as red. Your lip-
Come on, girl. You know what I'm saying? Go on it.
Lola Falana.
Let me get my note.
Do it, Quest.
Oh,
What did Lonnie say last week? Somebody speaks.
he said he needed his foot massage.
That's it.
That broke toe.
Oh wait, y'all look at JoJo's message real quick.
JoJo, you cannot imagine.
You cannot. It is.
Okay, look what JoJo just wrote.
It's bad.
It's
It's
real
terrible.
bad.
It's really terrible.
And it's often.
Listen, it's all day.
Look, the measured frequency.
Wait, did y'all see the last thing I just sent y'all before we came on?
Which
No, I didn't look at
Oh
it.
yes. If any one of y'all do that at my funeral, I promise you, I will give you I will leave you whatever you want.
Yeah, no, I missed that one.
Leah, that's what I want. If I die, Leah, you got to do that at my wedding. Same song.
At
At your funeral.
I mean, at my funeral.
Die at your wedding. It happens a lot.
Okay,
that's only when they're not your friend. No, I honestly don't believe that, friendship is going to be the sustenance per se to a marriage.
Okay.
Do you think it's foundational though, Leah?
Yes, I do.
I think
and a piece that continues to grow in not the taking over or being the one all be all, but it has to be present. You don't think throughout it foundationally, and then as it grows, it's just like one of them strong branches in the bush. You know what I'm saying?
So again, I believe that it is a component.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
It is one of the parts of sustaining the relationship, but I don't know if, and it may be for different individuals, right? But I don't know if that is just the sole ingredient. Like we say, hey, here is the base. This is the foundation. You must be a friend first.
So wait,
because the friend got to be able to check you sometimes when you know what I'm saying? That's what friends do.
Wait,
right, but if you break a person by trying to check a person, are you uplifting them and building them and aiding them into growth?
Well, that's the thing that your boy was saying, because he was saying that there has to be unbridled honesty, but there also has to be unceasing encouragement.
Yeah, I just want to pause and ask everyone to look at the private chat. I'm just going to ask everyone to pause and look at the private chat.
So, Paul, did you ever want to answer to that question?
How can I take you seriously tonight? How?
I swear.
Um,
He had
I'm
too much
taking
muscle.
over. Go ahead, T.
I can't remember what was the question, Paul.
Question was, what would your process look like now? Because clearly the host is
Yes, he's gone. He's
Gone.
gone all the way.
Oh,
Man down, man down.
He's gone.
So Terry, the question is, if you were to date again,
I love you guys.
what would your process look like?
my process look like.
Would it be friendship? Would it be,
Compatibility?
Yeah.
I don't know, I think everything starts with, friendship, but I always say I need to know that this person likes me and I like them.
You did say that before.
That's my thing. Do I like you? Because everybody just throws love out there and they don't even like each other.
Well, let me ask this then, Terry, because I ain't gonna lie. I tell people all the time, they laugh at me like I'm on my third or fourth marriage with Faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are seasons where I am absolutely smitten by her.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are certain seasons where you're getting on my nerves and I don't really like you right now. Mm-hmm. So does that have to be present throughout the entire? Because what I've learned if there's one thing that I've learned about marriage, is that whether I like her or not, I'm committed to her and I'm committed to the relationship because this is who God gave me. And just because God gave me her, right, don't mean I'm going to like her all the time. Sometimes she's going to get on my nerves. And I know it's a feeling, right? And feelings are fleeting. I may like her this week and next week she do something that just completely blows me away. And then that feeling last week that I had where I didn't like her, now I like her again. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that thing Gary Chapman talks about. You do one thing and it moves you from spring immediately into the winter. And then you could be in the winter and one act happen or two acts happen and you back in summer all over again. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
But you didn't like what they did. You didn't necessarily stop liking them. You see what I'm saying? I didn't like what you did here, but I still like you. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Not when it's like, I don't even, I love this person. Yeah, sure, it's my husband. I love him. But do you like me? No, because if you did, then a lot of the things that you do, you would not do. You see what I'm saying?
Terry,
who shares the bed?
About that.
I see what you're saying, though.
Who shares a bed with somebody they don't like?
That's crazy. They doing it, though. They doing it.
A lot of people.
They doing it.
But what I'm saying is, you don't like this person, but you're in their bed with them every night. You're doing stuff, and it's what? A lot of it is obligatory. A lot of people say they love, and it's obligatory love. It's obligatory. Well, I love them because I have to. The Bible says I have to. I love them because, well, that's my wife. I love them because that's my husband. Yeah, but do you like them? No, I get it all the time in therapy. I don't like this individual. So what's keeping you here? Well, it's an obligation. You see what I'm saying?
But God, notice Terry didn't say in love. And I think
you said what?
Said you didn't say in love. And I think sometimes we think just because if I say I love you, that means I'm also in love with you.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
I think
people fall in love. I don't think people fall in love.
You don't?
I think people fall in love with the idea of a person and not love the person.
People lust after certain things.
Yeah, because you can be in love.
I want to pause. I'm going to pause. I'd like to get an answer from Leah. I want to start with you. What is the difference for you between love and in love?
So, love is that I care deeply about the overall well-being for this individual. I will give of myself, right, in aiding this individual throughout life, right, in various capacities. In love, And I hear that phrase a lot, like falling in love. There's like slipping and falling and you slide in a situation. I don't really know what that truly is. I think that a lot of times is that you're smitten by maybe the physical appearance of someone, or that individual feeds, right, something, a gap that's going on in your life, right? They feed this thing that's absent. And so you're like, oh, right, I have these overwhelming sense of emotion for the moment. And then later on, you realize that it was just simply that it was an immediate gratification that came up versus this lasting, right, sustainable situation. So, yeah, I don't really believe in falling in love.
Okay, Terry.
I don't think people know what love means, because when love actually shows up, it's a real scary thing. It's a real scary thing. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. So you ain't got no job. You done lost your job and it all falls on me now? So wait a minute, hold on. I gotta change your diaper now because you in a wheelchair? Sickness and in health. Wait a minute, hold on. Better or worse? You got me out here on the street. We ain't got a place to live. What? But you said you love me. Love is scary. It's very scary. And if it really shows up in people's life, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to go back to, this what I think love is. And if you really do the research on love, guess where that came from? It came from a lot of the romance writers. They had us thinking that love was this thing that they wrote in. Oh, it's supposed to be this, supposed to be. And when you watch these movies about love, it's all of these people that don't work. You know what I'm saying? They just constantly going on picnics and carriage rides and whatever. The romantic era, it's all a bunch of fluff.
A bunch of what you said?
Fluff.
Oh, fluff. Oh.
Yeah, I think what we're saying is the in love piece is the emotional part, and the love piece is the decision part. It's like what happens after all the emotions have, you know what I'm saying? It's that what Terry's talking about. I'm deciding to love you. Like you are the person that I'm going to choose to bestow my love upon. Whatever the deepest understanding of love is, you are the person that I'm going to bestow that upon. You know what I'm saying? The in love piece is the
as a third.
That's that romantic period. Yeah. It's the all of that stuff they were writing in books and whatever. Who does that?
I think Dr. Gottman calls it the tingles. The tingle
but that's
stage.
why I go back to Paul's initial question. Why is there a diminishment of sex in marriages, right? Is because most times sex is kind of attached to like these fluffy feelings, these, tickly feelings, but that's not sustainable. They're fleeting. So if you associate that with sex, when they're gone, so is your sex.
But I want to disagree with Terry, if I may. Because when I think about love, in my active healing state, right? I think about when the Bible says perfect love casts out fear, right? And so genuine love to me should not be a scary experience. It should diminish a lot of fears. Like I should not be fearful about loving a person that I believe is genuinely loving me. And I think we have to kind of define, because to me, love is an action word. It's not something you just say. And I hate the term falling in love because that's accidental, not intentional. If you're going to love me, I need you to be intent. I don't want you to wake up one day and be like, I want you to choose, like, how am I going to build a relationship where Sade and I are in love, where we are loving each other daily, no matter what's going on, no matter how we feel, no matter what we think. It is still a choice that we make every morning when we wake up and every night when we go to bed to love each other. And what does that look like for us? Because what love looks like for Leah, it may not look like for Sade. So we have to be intentional with saying, I'm going to, one, tell you what I feel like I need. And again, like Quest says, that can change in our marriage. This season, it may be love looks like this, and this is how I need to feel it. 2 years down the road, if I'm a parent, it may look different, but we need to have the space to have those
I
conversations.
don't want it to look different too quickly. I don't want it to look different. No, hey, listen, I'm a creature of habit, right? I'm a creature of habit. I don't want it to look different. I think that many individuals did not go into this for what they signed up for, what their expectations were.
Sure.
You find, I mean, I see it on my phone all the time. You find more couples, and I know we ain't got the time, but we should do this Wednesday night. We could do. I think that you find many couples today, if they're not cheating, they're taking care of themselves. Do you hear what I just said? If they're not cheating, they're taking care of themselves. I know we joked sometime about the rose. We joked about, this and
not the Jergens.
Really?
No, this is jerkin.
Look at what. This is the first time I've seen Quest just not even.
I feel like
he's dumbfounded.
He's on the phone.
Come on.
Quest isn't here with us.
Step out of it.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm sorry. I was reading something at the bottom, but yeah. What say it again from?
So is there? I mean, so you reach a point or a place. I mean, I can show text upon text. That Pastor, is it wrong then? Because I've gotten into this relationship, I've gotten into this marriage, or I'm single, and I'm at a place now where I want to honor God. So is it wrong to take care of me than to go out there? Then for me to cheat on my wife, cheat on my husband? Do I take care of things on my own? And is this what I signed up for? But even if I didn't sign up for this brings me to a place where I'm creating boundaries for our marriage or for myself.
You know what I want? You know what I want people to do?
You did. Everything that you got married for is what you signed up for.
That's
Rich
it.
or poor, sickness and in health, better or worse. You signed up for it.
Here's the funny thing. Some people signed up for some stuff that they didn't converse about.
Yep. Expectations and assumptions.
This is you know my favorite word, right? Like, one of the things that you need to do is like be really familiar. I know people that's 30 and 40 something years old and they don't even know what they want. They're not familiar with themselves. They're not familiar with the things they like about themselves, the things they dislike about themselves. And then you get into relationship thinking that somebody else is going to fill those gaps for you. Then you feel that you get the in love feeling, as Dr. Gottman calls it, the tingles feeling, and you go ahead and you get married. And then you find out that all the stuff that you did not discuss becomes front and center now. How frequent should we have sex per week? Like, what's the positions that you like? What's the positions that I like?
Yeah, but can you talk about that before marriage?
Of course you can. Of course you can.
The average.
The one thing that bugs me out. The one thing that bugs me out about church folk is that, like, for real, all these little children running around here and ain't nobody having no conversation. I know y'all doing it. These little niggas is running around all over the place. I'm just saying. And this is the part about when we get here that like really incenses me. Like, why are we not having conversations about this stuff? Because you get married and now you sexually frustrated because your wife don't. Come on, your husband don't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Quest, what about those of us that we may not know the right questions to ask?
Come on.
But help me understand, like, and I'm not being funny. Help me understand what the right questions are. Like, I know that this is the reason why you gotta be developed. If I'm going to have a conversation with you, I need to be able to have a grown folk conversation with you and not, you know what I'm saying? Like, sweetheart, I know that this is a serious relationship and I know that we're moving towards marriage.
Are y'all saying that y'all didn't have conversations about sexual positions or what you like sexually before marriage? I'm just trying to understand. Mina, are you saying that you feel like those conversations were not had?
No.
Those are not your typical average conversations that couples are having before they walk down the aisle.
I don't know why not.
I will tell you.
It's not happening.
Hold on. even in premarital counseling, that's not happening.
That right, and that needs to happen.
Let me
in
be very
premarital
clear.
counseling.
You come to me, I'm
No,
so
Quest,
if
you are like a unicorn in the field, okay? We're talking about the bigger, broader stroke here. We're talking about the bigger, broader picture.
okay, if that be the case, if I'm a unicorn and that be the case, why are we not? You're gonna get married and you're gonna be doing these things.
Right, so
Why are you not?
Do me a favor.
Can we just be real?
Put together a workbook for couples. Put it together.
But can we just be real? Y'all, we grown folk. Do y'all really think that before folk getting and they're saying I do and get married that they ain't done nothing?
Yeah, they ain't done nothing, but hold on. There's a difference between doing something.
Let's just be real.
Well, there's a difference between doing
are they
something
doing it?
Grown folk, do you think that before they jump the broom and say I do, that they ain't done nothing?
Leah, I'm with you. I know they doing stuff. My
here's
thing
the
is
thing,
why
though.
you doing stuff and you ain't having conversations about what you like or
Because
don't like.
I don't need to have a conversation no more. If I'm doing it, you already know how I like to get down.
But here's the thing: you like it, people.
Times a week. We're already doing it 3-4 times a week. So why would I ever think it's going to change once we're married?
Because it changes. It changes.
It changes. You know why? Because what I like to do in this season, I don't like to do in next season. I like missionary now. Next season, I like doggy style. I want to pop. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yes, because you're capable of doing it in this season, I am assuming that when we get to the next season, this is one of the things we're going to take because we enjoy it together. We moan and we do all the things that says we like it. So in my mind, why would that ever change?
So I like ice cream today and I'm lactose intolerant tomorrow.
Wait, what? Emmy said something. I feel like Emmy said so. I do feel like this is a generational difference conversation because my generation, I'm 38. Even before we go to the bedroom, those are questions that happen. Like, so what is it that you like? What don't you like? What's uncomfortable for you? And to hear people say like those conversations aren't
no one
had.
said we crazy.
Like I'm legit, like I'm sitting here flabbergasted because I'm like, how do you even have sex the first time without having those conversations?
Well, I'm gonna say this to you, right? That there's so
organic.
many
It's organic. It's just
okay, or how we call it natural, right? We call it natural, right? Because I'm gonna say this right now. We're also taught as men, or maybe in my age group, that this is the way you treat your wife, this is the way you treat your hoe. Okay. Okay. I'm just telling you right now. And to be honest with you,
well, maybe if we had some conversations, we could do it with our wife.
You've been wife hoe. You've been wife hoe.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And I'm gonna say this.
Hold on, Pete. I want to say it's not that I don't get what Leah and Mina is saying, because I get what both of them are saying. I do get it, right? But I'm saying, what has that gotten us? How many relationships have gone left? You know what I'm saying? Because the conversations are not being had and we're not filling the gaps in those. And I'm just like, yo, can we learn something from past experience and be like, okay, cool. We might need to change up some things, even in the way we communicate specifically about this particular thing right here.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay.
Well, there needs to be like a singles seminar or something that happens around just dating and like these kinds of questions to ask, because asking how you like it is not the same as asking the question of like, what is the expectation of me in the bedroom?
Mina.
You know, bye, y'all. Have a wonderful night.
I'm literally sitting.
Mina, some people ask, do you like it while you're doing it? Okay, you like it? You like it? And you're not gonna say no. You're not gonna say shift left. You're not gonna say none of that stuff because it's we don't have the conversations before. We think organically or naturally certain things are going to happen. And so if you've been doing certain things beforehand and then you get married and you never talked about whether oral was something you would do, whether bathing together is something you would do, I'm going to go as far, whether you would like to do it outside.
Would you like to do it with the lights on?
Like, come on.
You meet me at the hotel.
Like,
I like belts and wigs. You know,
Okay.
Pete, it's funny because you
I'm
would
not
be
telling you I like
surprised.
Belton Wiggs. I'm saying that
In general, I know what you're saying. You would be
it.
surprised how many couples are doing it, but there's some inhibitions in there.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
but
I was thinking that too, Quest, like, why not say I need you to shift, right? So the question is, what is it about? The thing is what is it about you that's apprehending you from being open, right? And being able to have those conversations. A lot of it can be cultural.
Yes.
I remember growing up and there would be a sex scene on the television and my dad would cover my eyes.
Right.
So over time, I'm having to turn my head because I already know that this is something that dad doesn't like, right? And that and so the reality is we have to look, it's a lot of different factors that feeds into our ability to openly just talk about sex, let alone engage in certain behaviors. Sometimes it's just simply, easier to just do it and say absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Leah, let me jump on to what Leah said. I'm gonna tag on to that. Leah said it's culture, but it also too has to do with our religious base. You know what I'm saying? Because we were taught that this is wrong.
Yeah.
If you go back further, before any of us was born, sex was for who? The man. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't for the woman. Go back and look at The Color Purple.
Wow.
Climb on top of you and do my business.
Yeah.
If you ever saw the movie Great Balls of Fire about the Jerry Lee Lewis story, okay? When he that's right, goodness gracious. And the deal was when he had sex with his cousin twice removed, okay, the way she was moving in the bed, he jumped up and he was like, "What is that?" And she was just like, well, I don't know what are you talking about. He said, "Don't no virgin move like that." And then she said, "I don't know. I just started feeling the music or whatever." And he got mad and he left. You see what I'm saying? Because it was like it was not for. And so there's certain things that you don't talk about. The Bible, this is taboo. You don't do this. And you say, "How?" Yeah, this true story. When I was a kid, I used to sit in church and look at couples and be like, "I wonder what their sex be looking like," because it's so, you know what I'm saying? I used to wonder that.
I did that too. Or how did they have a kid?
The way they presented in church, you be like, this stuff got to be dry as the Gobi Desert out here. And so now it's like, that's taboo. Oral is wrong, doggy is wrong, missionary is wrong, cowgirl, reverse cow, whatever is all of this stuff is wrong.
Now what you know, Terry?
You know what I'm saying?
I know
And
a thing or two about a thing or two.
And so here's the thing: what has not happened? Y'all silly.
Talk that talk, Terry.
We can't get Mina. We can't get Mina
what I like.
But here's the thing, though: what hasn't happened is
Mina.
the mindset.
Yes.
Right. We have to. What's not happening is undoing the mindset.
That
So we actively, and intentionally have to confront what has us stuck or not performing.
I'm just saying, why should all the porn stars have the phone?
I actually found my therapist hat for tonight. I did take it off for a little bit, but I did put it back on. And to what Leah was saying, I just want to add the piece of our traumas come with us, and sometimes it affects the questions that we should be asking because of fear of just fill in the blank of that, right? And so if we have not taken care of self in terms of like healing from some of those things, we don't know what we want. We will do what you're asking us to do because we don't want another abandonment. We don't want another rejection. And so, but then that only lasts for such a small window because then my very first thing was resentment shows up, right? And so I think that it's not maybe that some people don't want to have the conversations, but the fear of the answer may be why they don't have those conversations. If
And
that
I
makes
think,
sense.
you know, that makes perfect sense. And what I will say is like how I'm comfortable having the conversation with someone I'm interested in or
Hey,
dating.
you little freak booty. No, I'm just playing.
But it's because I have those conversations with my best friends. Like those conversations are not taboo in my friend circle. So to have the conversation with someone that I'm getting to know, we've matriculated to that point, it's easy for me to say so.
Yes,
Because
please.
I'll bring it up like, man, me and my friend were talking the other day and we were talking about this or that. What do you think about it? It doesn't have to be like, so what's your favorite position? How many times a week? Like, well, I'll send a reel the same way we send reels to each other. I'll send a reel to say, okay, what are your thoughts on this? Because he said his wife got to do X, Y, or Z. Is this what you believe? No? Okay, we can proceed with the next conversation. So I think because I have these fluid conversations outside of that relationship, if I'm trying to befriend you, it's easy for me to say, hey, so like, what do you like?
But I think social media has taken conversation styles to a whole different level. Whereas prior to social media, in my era, there was nothing like that to help foster these conversations. The friend groups that I grew up with in church and in Pathfinders and all those things, we were secretly doing this stuff. We were all doing it. And I think we knew we were doing it, but we were not having the conversations that we're doing it, because in multiple circles, I've heard the word hoe being described as someone who's doing it. Although we all were hoes because we was all doing the same things, but we were still that, if there was the one person in the group who was outwardly, and the way you were outwardly is you either got pregnant, and it was like, oh my goodness. So like there was so much taboo back in the 80s and early 90s just around like what is appropriate and what isn't appropriate when it comes to exploring your sexuality. So now in our late 40s, 50s, we're still not talking about it. Like this conversation right here is so taboo because that generation is still not talking about it.
Well, let me say this before you say something.
We're suffering in silence in our marriages because of the things that some of us are lacking, because we don't have the time. We don't share it openly with our friends or circle group.
So let me say this real quick, because we were talking about love earlier, right? What happens when you say, I love my spouse, I love my partner? Then there's something that you're talking about sexually that they don't want to do. And you hear these all famous words. If you love me, you would. If you love me, then you wouldn't ask me that. So now, what do we do? If you love me, you would. Well, if you love me, you wouldn't ask me to do that. Now, how do you get past that?
So can I before that, because I wanted to piggyback off of what Leah said. I've told you guys, and if you didn't know, I was not raised Adventist, right? I grew up in a church where I will never forget when the first girl in our church got pregnant. Our pastor said to the whole congregation, do not treat her any differently. She is still one of us. We love her. And he said, the only reason why some of you don't have your daughter in the same position is because she's on birth control. I remember my pastor affirming her as she was pregnant. And my pastor would say, why would you want a man to beat it up? Like, this is what he would tell us in small groups. He was like, you want a man to love you. You want a man, this is the conversation. And y'all have seen how my mama gets on here and talks. So these conversations for me were just part of, we want you to have a healthy vision of yourself sexually, not necessarily but you yourself. These are natural feelings. These are natural thoughts. So I think sometimes, like Leah said, culturally, we are doing a disservice to a lot of people when we make sex a taboo subject prior to marriage. And then in marriage is something that you're supposed to embrace and love and fellowship when we've never had a conversation about it.
I think a lot of girls got pregnant. I think a lot of girls got pregnant in our era because it was taboo. Nobody talked about it. You see what I'm saying? And so they didn't know, the boys didn't know, the girls didn't know. And so they're out there experimenting. And this is what happens when you don't talk about it. You know, I don't think putting condoms in the student center or wherever the case may be is encouraging sex. I don't think that. I think it's encouraging, hey, you're going to do it anyway, so we just want you to be protected because we can't stop you from doing it. I think they should get them out at, what is that thing they call AY? I grew up at MV.
MV.
I didn't know nothing about MV. She don't know nothing about MV.
It is missionary violence.
Where should they give about that?
No,
I'm sorry, missionary.
MV was more of a giant. No, MV was.
Are they? It's a new
Terry, I need you to tell me. I need you to tell me where they should give condoms out at. Where they should give it out at?
Hey, you know you was doing it in the basement.
Where,
Terry,
like where do you need to give it out at? Where you need to be able to give it out?
But that's just like at Oakwood, girls will get kicked out for being pregnant. Do you know that is not how all Adventist institutions run? I was shocked when I found out that only at Oakwood, if you get pregnant, you are kicked out of school. You go to one of our sister institutions that isn't an
No, they put you out at Andrews.
They don't put you out at everywhere.
I'm still stuck on Terry said they should give him out of AY.
They do not put you out of Southwestern if you got pregnant.
Because we know once y'all leave here tonight, what y'all gonna go do.
What are you doing?
And for those of you down there in the basement,
this is
he's creating a condom.
That's Magnum.
What's that? That's a 3XL.
No, that's a full body condom.
Put it on your head, bro. Put it on your head. I mean,
even to be a senior pastor,
I don't know about y'all, but I look forward to this every Monday night.
Even to be a senior pastor, how do you, as a pastor, say to your congregation? And I want you to think about this.
Yeah.
If we say protect yourself, then they're saying that I'm saying to go do it.
Yeah. Yes.
When we know in the day and age we're living in, they're doing it.
Yes.
So you might as well protect yourself.
Doing it well.
Okay, now
You're AY.
Jamaican guy.
Or
Ding, 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 ding. So the 10-minute bell rang a long time ago.
I have no idea what's happening with this bottom row. This bottom row.
I want to sit next to Terry in church.
I grew up in Queens. She grew up in Brooklyn or somewhere. He was saying ding, 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 ding.
I represent Queens. She was raised out in Brooklyn.
There you go. Or in the words of Jodeci, how do you want it? How do you feel?
Drew Hill, tell me what you want.
Hey, you know you gotta do that one little. Hey, yeah. Something wrong. Something wrong.
All right, we ain't gonna get busted on here. Listen.
Oh my God.
We'll go around the horn. I love the way we started. I love the way we went. But you know, I think it's
the
really
way we roll. No, go ahead.
Get Terry and Quest an album.
Please. Please have a music night.
You know me and Quest, if we go DJ, it's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit. I'm telling y'all, when we get ready to do this next Unscripted Live, it's gonna be oof. I'm just telling y'all, stay. Oh, by the way, let me just put my serious hat on for a minute. Unscripted Live is moving to a new home very soon.
What voice was that? What voice? Because that was in Brooklyn. What voice was that?
That's my code switch. That's my code switch.
Okay.
Let's
start over.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Unscripted Convos are moving to a new home on YouTube fairly soon, and we want to make sure that you guys are a part of each and every week that we get together and do complete foolishness. So we're gonna put the link in the chat. Put it out there so everybody can see it, because sometimes when I post it, it only posts to Facebook, but put it where everybody can see it, please. Ladies, post it on your place. We are moving there soon, and we're going to drive all of our traffic towards this one Unscripted, but you can automatically go there now. You can click the subscribe button and then click the bell so that you get the notifications as to when we start posting new content. We're already uploading all the old episodes. So yeah, man, we want to build this and we want to take y'all along for the journey. New things coming for this year and subsequently years to come. So yeah, man, be a part of the growth, be a part of Unscripted, and yeah, man, subscribe.
Can just somebody from Unscripted send me a hi on our bridge thing so I can because once it comes up I can do it. Just somebody.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just say hi to me, please.
Just say hi.
Just say hi on the bridge. On the bridge.
In our text thread.
Go ahead, Ted. What you got?
Yeah.
When I said, how do you say JoJo's last name? What is that? Is that Korean?
No, JoJo is Haitian.
What's NG?
He's Haitian.
Okay, me.
I don't know if she married someone who was Haitian.
He is Haitian, 100%.
She's cousin to Greg Nelson.
Oh, she said, those are just her initials.
She said, when we come to Florida.
Okay.
See that Greg Nelson? She's cousin to Greg Nelson.
Oh, that's what's up.
Greg Nelson.
Because I was like, I thought it was Korean. My bad.
Y'all know what I love about the Adventist world?
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about who's related to who. Like, that's
Don't worry about it.
We do it.
Don't worry about first generation.
I was just about to say that's only if you were like seventh generation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
you know. If you're just not coming out the block, you just sit there and wait for a couple of more, have some children.
Round the horn, P.
What? Oh yeah, round the horn. Okay. Here we go. But let me just post.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm the old man in the group.
In fact, I got jury duty tomorrow. How about that?
Ooh, do you? Ooh.
Yeah, early in the morning.
Is it a good case? Do you know?
Is it a murder case?
I don't know what it is. They told me to call tonight to see if it's even. I hope it's not, because I just want to stay home. I want to clean my kids' room because they're gonna be back from school.
Congratulations on the graduate.
Thank you.
Aren't you happy that they're coming home?
Thank you.
Okay, baby girl be watching the show. You better chill out.
Something to say.
I'm excited that they're coming home. I think that Zenova is going to be home. She's going to be home. So the emptiness is they're coming back.
You got to egg back in.
I better get a couple of rounds in.
Yeah, y'all may want to.
Said she was Asian in her past life.
Y'all may want to do a couple of belts and wigs in a couple of rooms.
Look, Sade, where's your collar?
Your poor children gonna be mortified if they ever see a collar on the kitchen counter. Jeez.
Or just go over there and just slap your hat on Wendy's head.
I'm so glad we
had Tim's and be like, let's get it.
Round the horn, P.
Yes.
I'm not quite trying to wrangle us in.
Ring it, right?
We should have been done 20 minutes ago, but
it's true.
I try to tell y'all.
I said to Wendy, I'm gonna be finished at 10:30 tonight. She said,
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Lady, please.
I'm going
girl,
to
please.
bed. Are you lonesome tonight? Tonight.
All right,
Reel him in, P.
I'm gonna start with Leah tonight. Leah, if there's anything that you can do, any advice you would give to a couple that has lost their sexual savor in marriage, what answer would you give them?
Get out of the house, go to a new environment, and see if you can reconnect in that space.
I like that. I think that's what Mina was talking about before, about the couples or going to a hotel or things of that nature.
Well, I mean, it's just, the house brings all of life, right? Like your everyday. And so it carries that in the atmosphere. Get out of that.
Huh? How about the wood? How about the woods in the backyard?
I mean, if that's what they like, I ain't trying to be. Look, I
got
you, air conditioning, all that good stuff, but no,
I got you.
Real, get out of
the
everyday environment. Yeah,
I like that. Get out of the house, move away from everyday environment, and see where it takes you. I love it. I love it. We'll see you in the green room.
Bye.
Mina?
Yes. So I would share.
Hold on. Sorry, go ahead. I want Mina last.
Oh, wait. So what I will say, this is what I would say to anybody that's dating.
Okay, I love that. Thank you. That's good.
Especially if you're dating and you've had sex before. What my prayer is that I will invite God into the bedroom because he's never been invited there before. Sex outside of marriage has not been a place where I felt comfortable being my most vulnerable and transparent self. If I'm going to be honest, I always.
Okay. I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean by invite him to? What do you mean by invite him to the bedroom? I just, I was in Patman's Church this Sabbath. I'm not playing Amazing Grace while I'm,
No. But
so break it down a little bit.
I think we forget that sex really and truly is a form of worship, right? That is when two people are coming together to, in my mind, thank God for the opportunity to do this, right? Okay. And so for me, I can say anytime I've had sex previously, I've always felt like I was going to hear the trumpet sounding, right? And I was like, I don't even have time to ask for forgiveness. I'm
on the downstroke.
Yeah, like, I'm going to hell. So, and this season,
there's no water in hell either.
Like,
there's no water. You'll start that. You say there's no water in hell.
No ice, no nothing, right?
No nothing.
Nothing.
Just fervent heat.
So now I pray that God blesses my marital bed, and that it is a place where he gets glory from the two of us connecting in that way.
I like that.
But I have to practice that now and ask God to show me what is intimacy with him first, right? Because I think a lot of times we try to build relationships with other people when we haven't worked on our relationship with him first.
I love it.
And so that is what I would say to anybody who is single and dating.
Okay, I just want to before I let you out, let me just bring back Leah on this. If you could see that Pastor Graves, he is the pastor at Mount Pisgah Church in
Florida,
South Florida. Also, if Dr. Vivia Hay, met her a couple of times before, she's also there. That would be a wonderful opportunity. If we went to, I'm just saying, if we went there to do our next gig. He's so open. He's so awesome and open. In fact, I think he said it in here. Here he goes. He said, we'll have them soon. I know Paul Graham. And so it'd be great for us to do that. There's some churches we can't do it at, but there's some churches will allow us to do it, to have those conversations. Sunday, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the green room. Leah, I'll see you back in the green room. I know you got to run, but Terry, what's your thoughts?
I forgot what the question is.
It's simple. If someone came to you for advice on not having sex or intimacy in their marriage, how would you? No. If it's not the way you want it to be, how would you? What advice would you give them?
If it's not the way they want it to be,
or
I would try to, first of all, I would actually try to find out where did it go wrong. Okay. What changed? When did you notice this change? What's going on? And then say, well, we kind of got this. Okay, so let's go back to where you were before. Was it good before? What made it good? So go back and revisit those initial things and try to recreate that. It's kind of like, all right, so think of a time where, it was good. What were you doing? What was going on and what's stopping you from doing that now? So I'd have them kind of go back to where it was good, to try to get that back again. Go back and revisit those times.
Gotcha. I like that. Revisit those times. And let's see if it'll spark whatever it needs to spark. Thanks, Terry. I'll see you in the green room.
Yep.
Mina.
Say what?
That's right.
Ew.
So if we're talking about couples who have lost their sex drive, it definitely feels discouraging. But it's also more common than people admit. So like that's what I would do. I would sort of normalize the season and give them the hope and tell them that it is very repairable with intentional steps. Leah gave a like one tangible thing that they can do that could help it. And I would talk about the sexual drive coming in ebbs and flows. You know, you got stress, you got children, you got health issues, emotional disconnection, even unresolved resentment. All of those things are barriers that could keep them there. So I would want to work with them in sort of rebuilding that emotional intimacy first. Because if we don't get the emotional intimacy sort of build back up, the other one is going to flop. So
I like that. Emotional
intimacy.
I love it. Hey, Mina, thanks. We'll see you in the green room. Well, hey, let me tell you something. I got to tell you something. I freaking love learning.
Bro.
Man, I hate them.
But I think that's what's so dope about all of this is when we get together, you get the real life experience from who we are as individuals, not only as coaches. You get it from an educator's perspective, because really a lot of this is about education. And I don't care, like for real, there's some principles to learning. Some of us are winning because we operating in the principles, and some of us are not winning because we just, and that's why I like how Sade, you know what I'm saying, brings those pieces of it together. Then you got 3 clinicians who's giving you, like, for real, human behavior and everything that comes along with it, the traumas, what's blocking you from getting better. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't lose, man.
Yeah, can't. Listen, question. I'm just, again, I love tickling. I love to be tickled by just what people put down. I love hearing from Cams, you know, that's Carol Mans. I love hearing from Jojo. I love hearing from different individuals.
I like to hear Terry say, give out condoms, say, hey,
why? Yeah, I ain't getting in no trouble today. In light of that, man, we'll remember again. Just give them the other the YouTube. Tell them about the YouTube again. And then
so once again, y'all, we are soon moving to a our new home at YouTube. And the reason why we did that is because we have a number of places that we broadcast to, but we want to get our viewership up. We want to get our followers up, our subscriptions up. And we want to have this one central location that everybody can go to and watch the unscripted week after week. Right. And so with your help, and we're asking you to come along with the ride for us, just click the link that P is going to put up. Go by there. The switch is not official, but you can go there and subscribe now. Go there, subscribe now, and then click the bell, and it'll give you all the notifications. Jojo, I can't tell just yet. They're gonna shoot me if I say it. I can't tell just yet. But don't worry, y'all gonna be the first to know before anybody knows. And yeah, man, let's grow this thing. And then we're like, for real, we're looking to do something not just for the sake of having a podcast week after week. We're really trying to create a dynamic shift in the way that we do relationships and making the bridge. That's why we got the clinicians on here. That's why it's called the bridge, Unscripted Conversations, because we want to bridge the gap between mental wellness and between marriage and relationships. So do me a favor, y'all. Please come along. We want to dispel all of the things that we learned as we came up about having these taboo conversations. Oh, Jared, appreciate you, brother. We want to have all these conversations like for real. And if there's any shift or any change that's going to take place, it has to start with a conversation. So that's what we're trying to do. So y'all, please come along with the ride for us and subscribe.
Just want everybody to know that the lives are saved. We're going to be uploading them so you can share them with others. In fact, share this with others also.
Yep.
And be blessed. Thanks for just coming out and spending some time with us. And we'd love to come to your city real soon. We'd love to come to your city real soon. As we begin to grow, we're hoping that you're growing too. Be blessed, everyone. Be blessed.